The Sewing Advisor is a Husqvarna Viking exclusive feature. It is something that if you are a new sewer or a seasoned sewer, it's good to use because this machine will even tell you what stitch to use and how to set it up. Right here where it starts off with woven medium, you're going to notice a sewing machine picture. When you touch it, it will take you to a listing of fabrics from woven light, woven medium, woven heavy, and stretch light, medium, and heavy. And down here at the last one, leather and vinyl. So if we were to tell the machine we were going to be working on a heavier fabric, we can touch the words or we can actually touch the box, whatever is easiest for you. So we'll touch woven heavy. And then over here we have techniques. As we pick techniques such as a seam, it will take us to the correct seam stitch, set up the length and settings appropriate for that fabric, and off you go. We have seam, overcast, seaming and overcasting, based, blind hem, a regular hem, and a buttonhole, each one correlated with all the fabrics on this side. So when you pick this, we picked a seam and a heavy fabric, you'll notice that the stitch length has been lengthened because on heavier fabric, if you sew with a normal stitch length, those stitches start to look really small, or sometimes the fabric is not fed through and you have to kind of help it. Don't help it, just let the machine do it for you. Tell it what you're working on. For example, if we go back to fabric and choose stretch heavy, leave the technique at seam. When we go back, it will have picked a stitch different. It's on stitch number 2 in row 1, and that's the stretch stitch. It has made the stitch length appropriate for that stretch heavy fabric. And right here, one other thing has changed. This is the pressure. Recommending that you adjust the pressure down to 3. And that's going to make it so the foot kind of hovers over that stretchy fabric instead of stretching it out and making it wavy. That stitch will turn out perfect every single time. Let's leave it on stretch heavy and choose a technique such as buttonhole. It will take us to a buttonhole that is proper for that fabric. It is recommending the regular foot, C, buttonhole foot, the one without the red wheel. It's recommending that we cord that buttonhole. That's a little picture right here with a little line kind of going up and through. We will show you in the buttonhole section how to do a corded buttonhole. Once again, the pressure is reduced and the settings are set up for that lighter, for that heavier, stretchy fabric. So every fabric and every technique will take you to a different one. For example, if you're doing a blind hem and can't remember which foot to use or which stitch to use, just tell it you're doing the blind hem and go in there. It'll take you to that stitch, tell you which pressure, which foot, and everything else will be set up for you. Watch, if we change from a woven heavy, watch the stitch length or width here where it says 4.0. I believe if I change it to a woven medium, that changes to a smaller number, 3.0, because you don't want to take as big of a bite into a lighter weight fabric, and that blind hem will turn out perfect, once again, for that fabric. So use the Sewing Advisor. Keep in mind that if you use it today and you left it on the last fabric you're working on, say stretch heavy, and you turn the machine off, when you turn it back on tomorrow, it will say stretch heavy up here, but it will be put back to the straight stitch. Do you want to see it? So I'm going to turn the machine off. It will reset, but it will be on that F stretch heavy setting. So definitely make sure that when you are picking your new project, change the fabric for what you're working on. And then that way the settings will follow you correctly.